This project is made possible by support from the National Endowment for the Arts, the Missouri Arts Council, and the Kansas City Art Institute. Welcome to the Mother Ann podcast, where women who are both artists and mothers discuss their diverse experiences as creators and caregivers. I'm Eleanor Lynn Midyett, project manager and co-curator of the Mother Ann Project and assistant professor of liberal arts at the Kansas City Art Institute. I'm also the mother of 4 sons. Each episode features discussions with artists and other individuals involved in the Mother Ann exhibition, which runs from September 5th to November 21st, 2025 at the Leedy-Voulkos Art Center in Kansas City, Missouri. The exhibit and the podcast disrupt preconceived notions that parenthood diminishes one's artistic practice and celebrate motherhood as a source of expansive creative potential.
I know that my audience are children, but I don't think that because they're little, they don't know a lot. I look at them as pretty, very smart, very challenging audience. That's the hardest job that, a creative person can have.
In this episode, I speak with artist mother Rahele Jomepour-Bell.
Hi everyone, I'm Rahele Jomepour-Bell, an illustrator, author, and educator at KCAI actually. I teach in the illustration department, and I mostly call myself picture book illustrator or creator.
Yes, thank you. And what stage of parenting are you in?
I'm currently in the stage of parenting a young daughter named Daria. She's a huge source of inspiration in my life, both professional and experimental.
That's wonderful. So you said that a significant aspect of your artistic practice is as a children's book illustrator. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your works? I know you've collaborated with Winsome Bingham in Missing Mama, and then also My Mother's Tongue's A Weaving of Languages with Uma Menon. Could you tell us about those works and, your contribution to those children's books?
Sure. Thank you for bringing up these titles. They're very important to me. Missing Mama is a picture book written by Winsome Bingham. This is a book about a child missing her mama who came back from the war in Afghanistan and dealing with some mental issues and problem in their life, post-war. And it's from the perspective of the child, the voice of the child talking about that, how much that she's missing spending time and having fun in the life with her mom, the mom before war. And now, how she can, bring back her mom to what she was, who she was, and gardening is part of it. So she found that if she put her mom's hands to the dirt again, to the soil, that happiness will come back, and she did it. And I cried when I received this manuscript. In my childhood, I also experienced the war somehow in Iran, but just like it was so important to me. I could kind of like connect with that child myself and put myself in the shoes of the child and her feeling, how she feels. So it was a huge honor for me to illustrate that pretty emotional book, and very important right now, actually, in the world. And the other one that you brought it in is My Mother's Tongues, A Weaving of Language, written by Uma Menon. This is also a book about the exploration of language and cultural identity. It's about a kid who is bilingual, talking about her mom and the grandma immigrated to the United States, and how her mom can jump from one language to the other one, and appreciation of the bicultural, and as that was very important to me because I wanted because it's very important for me. Daria learned both Persian, Farsi, and English in the house. So I have my mom with me. She lives with us, and that's pretty. The book, I could constantly connect with the book and manuscript when I received that. Also, it was a huge honor for me to make pictures for that book too.
So, your artistic practice as a children's book illustrator is specifically geared towards an audience of children, parents, caregivers. What does it mean for you to, to have your practice be directed towards that audience?
It's a really great question. Like when you are in the communication art field, from the beginning, you need to think about your audience always. Uh, it took me time, like to learn about that from the beginning. I remember when I started to do illustration in Iran for picture books. I mostly was thinking about, I want to create a beautiful piece. I don't care about the manuscript. I don't care about this, like the story. What is the story trying to say? I wanted to be as much as artistic I could. I wanted to create a piece that, like, I was thinking, I was young, I was thinking that, how Picasso created a piece of art. I wanted to be like that, pretty experimental, very original and unique. But by the time, and especially when I had Daria as my child, I started to read more picture books. Before that, I just remember the picture book of my childhood. But when I had my own child, I forced myself to buy and buy it, and I loved it. Like to read. I wanted to create, to raise a child that loved reading books, because I know how they shape the identity of the children or the human being. So I that made me also going to the library, learning more about picture book, reading more and more, and see what is she, toward or interested in picture books. So I learned that I need to tell this story. I need to pay attention to the words and the goal of the story. And then, of course, then I add layers to the story on the top of that to help the child understand the concept. So I care about my audience now. I know that my audience are children, but I don't think that because they're little, they don't know a lot. I look at them as pretty, like very smart, very challenging audience. That's the hardest job that, a creative person can have. A lot of times, I know parents, they buy the books, so I know that they want to just like pick up the books that their kids learn and experience their life the way that they see the world. So a book making is a whole teamwork. It's not just me, So after me, the book going through the filters of editors, like art directors and the wholesale people team. That's a team project book. So it's not just single person, you know, creation.
So being a mother really deepened your practice then, in that it made you think about how the children were going to receive your work, but also as a parent, what kind of books do you encourage your children to read, and what kind of children's books do you buy? So yeah, so you also do workshops then, right, for professionals. So you're a teacher to your students at KCAI, but also a mentor in these workshops to professionals. Is that something that you address then in these workshops with professionals? Maybe empathy, that trying to develop that empathy with your audience, and then also with the parents and their caregivers. So,
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to just like, a lot of artists, they think that, they need to just create beautiful pieces. I tell them that before that, just stop and thinking about that, how to tell the story through the pictures. That's what you need to be good at.
Yeah, it's wonderful how you talk about research. I think that it's not just being an illustrator or even just being an artist is not just about drawing or creating beautiful pictures, but about doing the research and considering your audience. So, does Daria inspire you in some ways with the illustrations you create?
Oh, sure. You're like she always asks me, mommy, what are you illustrating? What's the story about? And I always, read the book before, and I tell her this is, you are the first child actually, seeing or hearing this story. So she always, has some comment for me or opinion, and like she said that, oh, mommy, this girl is like me. I want, to learn Farsi, and very important to me, this girl also wants to learn Malayalam, and also, like living in the United States, having bilingual parents. So she pretty much she said that, oh, you should do this, oh, this is cool, in a part of the story that the child saying that my mom, when she switched from English to her mother language, it's like the words jumping like a rabbit from her her mouth. And I was asking Daria, how can I picture this? She said that you can just like show, like a rabbit hopping, like on waves coming from her mouth. And she's like, oh, cool, and I did it.
So the projects that you choose oftentimes then relate to your own personal experience.
Pretty
Um,
much. That's
yeah,
interesting. It might be by accident, but I think that, after two, three books that I did illustrated, I found the whole publishing, industry, the people who work there, they're pretty smart. They choose, and match illustrators with the authors in a subject that they think that, oh, this illustrator can make a good job.
yeah. So they sort of see the type of work that you do and then kind of approach you with projects they think that
Exactly
you'll be
right.
able to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So I love that Daria is a collaborator with you, that you sometimes ask her about, her opinion. Is there like a thread or connection between your parenting and then also your illustration practice? I heard you speak when you were talking about one of your workshops about how you illustrate from the heart and how
Yeah.
that's really important for you.
That's a great question. I can say that there is a significant common thread between my parenting and my studio practice, and that is curiosity and desire to connect. Like as a mom, I want also Daria, to be compassionate, open minded, and appreciate the diversity of the world. And I'm so happy that she is in a community in the United States, in a country that she can experience this by seeing different people from different culture background, different religion, different skin color, different form of, like life experience. It's happening in both my practice and my parenting.
Is there a certain style that you would describe about your illustrations or
Yeah, the style in my illustration, like it takes time for everyone to find that voice. But for me, like it was interesting when I started to work in the industry of picture book making. A lot of people rejected my work. They said that, like your work is so pretty, beautiful, but they are mostly fine art rather than being illustration. Maybe they're not marketable in this market, in this country. And I was thinking, what do they mean? What do they mean? So I tried to understand, and finally, by having a mentorship with four art directors from Vinny Diverse Book, they helped me a lot. They gave me a lot of, like comments and helped me, guided me. And I found that, okay, I need to learn about the society I'm living and I'm creating the art for them. When they are saying fine art, they mean that fine art in a case that that's me and I don't care about the audience, like while I'm creating. After creation, you just put it on the wall and people love it and buy it. But for communication art, it is like that. You need to know the society. And I kind of like went back, read a little bit about the, this society, American history, American illustration history, um, the people, who are they, like where they came from the beginning, and then what happened, all of that. It helped me to find my voice somehow. And also when I did that, I went back to my cultural background and see that what my work make it a little bit more understandable, but at the same time unique or authentic. Going back to the Iranian or Persian miniature. A lot of times my work doesn't have that Western type of perspective in them, and that is coming from the Persian, uh, old Persian illustrated manuscript.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that transition from, being living in Iran and then coming to the United States, and then how that move impacted your career?
Thank you so much for the question. Again, when I was in Iran, I was a young artist, starting having some art, getting done some books there. Of course, the story came to me. They were coming from the Persian culture, so I had a pretty good knowledge about those. I didn't have to go and dig into the, understanding the society or understanding the meaning, the deep meaning in the stories. So it was pretty much a little bit lighter for me, lighter the projects. And then, I had to just pay attention to the beauty of the, pictures, trying to be a good artisan with them, with my artwork. But then when I came here again, that understanding my environment and my audience, there are going to be a vast majority of people, from different culture. So I need to think about, before that, I never thought about skin colors in my picture books. That was pretty interesting to me. By the time I was working on my portfolio pieces, I I I found myself, without even thinking about it, I found myself, oh, I have different colors, skins of kids. And that was pretty interesting. I said that's an inspiration, just like living in a place that you see things and then you translate them through your filters. But again, those became pretty important to me by studying and researching more and more, and how much diversity is needed in this country, and how much publishers are invested in that. I'm so lucky to be in this era of publishing.
So you do find that publishers are interested then in educating about different cultures and
Yeah, people in, marginalized people, like the people coming from a small group and they don't have enough voice to be raised. Publishers are trying hard to give those people space.
yeah, and it sounds like the children are really receptive to that too. So just growing empathy in the next generation.
Exactly.
So do you see your artistic practice as a way to connect Daria maybe with her Iranian, that aspect of her cultural heritage?
Definitely. Whenever that I create book illustration, I always try to, for example, very simple thing, like put a cat there, because cat in Persian culture means the soul of the country. The map of Iran looks like a cat. And then I told her and I explained that to her. It's just, those are the hints that people might find, somehow. But Daria, or any other Iranian might just realize that, oh, yeah, I know that. Just like I have some hints, some of the patterns maybe on like tablecloth would be Persian, patterns. So Daria sort of she's having fun to find these things. And of course, sometimes I take advantage of the subject matter, for example, for my mother's tongues, for end papers, I have different, mother in different languages, and I have also Farsi there too. So, yeah.
Oh wow. So there's all kinds of little hints that Daria can decipher in your work, then
Exactly right, and she knows a lot about the heritage that she appreciates the Persian culture. We celebrate Nowruz, New Year, Iranian New Year, and also at the same time, like Christian New Year. So she is so excited. I think she's lucky. We have a lot of celebration
different
at home.
cultural
Right? Yes,
references. So
exactly.
is she a creative as well then? I mean, do you intentionally try to, foster creativity in your house? Do you have art supplies, or how do you foster creativity in your household?
I think that I'm raising, another artist at home. Fostering creativity in Daria is pretty important for me and my husband. We both support that. I believe, providing her with open-ended material and opportunities for exploration is just pretty important, like for her. And we kind of like discovered that she's a creative child. She is always, ask me if she can be with me in the studio. I let her to use my expensive art supplies just for her to, like to get more curious and more interested in art. And I always say that, like just pay attention to the details. Don't be perfect. Don't try to be perfect. Like imperfection is an art of living the life and also, like creating. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty. I'm pretty sure I'm raising an artist. She write and illustrate little mock-up books, dummy books.
Yeah, I love how the lesson of just leaning into imperfection. Is that something that carries over then into your teaching practice as well? The connection between motherhood and then being an art educator at the Art Institute?
Exactly. That's my goal. I always tell my students, I know that this is serious. You're in a class, university class, like college. But at the same time, this is the best time for you exploring and trying to be as much as like you could be. Don't try to be perfect. I always encourage them to be loose in the lines that they're trying to draw, to be loose in the capturing the new ideas. Just let it come to you. Don't try so hard. I know that research, study, documentation are part of the creation, but at the end, just have fun. At the same time, I try you know not to be a hard, um, like sort of like directed mom trying Daria to explore the world. Hopefully, I will be in the future when she gets older.
I'm sure you will be. So on your website, I see that you actually include the end of semester shows of your students, their various stations. So to me, when I saw that, that shows that you really love teaching and that teaching is something that is really important to you. Did you always know that you wanted to be an art educator as well as an illustrator?
Well, teaching has been always my passion, but I want to be honest. I didn't have enough self confidence when I moved to US and I studied MFA in art after graduated, and then got an agent, and I started like as a profession. I started as a picture book illustrator. There were a lot of students, from Iran contacting me, and I gave them portfolio consultation. I checked their, like application letters and everything. I used to teach in Iran, but like teaching in another language in another country, it's just like needs a lot of self confidence. But I didn't have that. But a lot of people just like reached to me, and I started to give them a lot of mentoring, and I thought that I should teach. I love this. I remember when I was graduating with MFA, my advisor, Chuck Richards, he was encouraging me to apply for some, teaching positions, but I ignored. And I said, I want to go and get another MFA. And he said that, Rahele, be careful not to be always student, because some people are. you should teach. I said that. And then my husband also was pretty much supportive for that. He always said that you're a natural teacher. So I think that I trusted finally, like other people telling me. And I said that, yep, I should. I'm enjoying that to be part of academia.
Yeah, well, we're so lucky to have you at
Thank you.
KCAI,
I'm
so
lucky.
it's nice to be your colleague. But is there an example, or do you have any stories about where parenting kind of really came in handy or was very helpful then as an illustration professor?
I believe in one-on-one meeting with my students, and just like let them to talk, let them to just like talk about the things that they have the fear in them, and then that being mom, I think that's helping me. Sometimes I've noticed two of my students last year, they said that, oh, you're like my mom, isn't he? She's saying that to me. I said, oh, I don't want to, but at the same time, this is, natural probably. So I think that it is covering a lot of probably stress coming from the students. I think that it feels cozy to somebody understanding them and motherhooding them, but at the same time giving enough distance that, oh, I'm a teacher and this is a student. But I think that's pretty helpful to me, that I don't mind. They're my kids. I think that I could have a kid 20 years old, 18 years old right now. Easy.
So just an approach of care and openness. You
Exactly.
also
Yeah. And I follow them on their Instagram. I'm very curious about, like what are they doing, each one of them, like thanks to the social media, some of them are on them, and I'm following, their future. What are they doing right now? Do they have a show? Are they creating a new piece? Getting commission, all of that. I think that is part of being mom too.
yeah,
One of what
being invested in your kids, absolutely. Do you see any big differences between your students in Iran and here at the Art Institute?
Um, jokes. I don't know how to say jokes in English, but I could do that in Iran.
That will come with time. I feel like that will
Right.
come with
I
time.
want to be
So,
natural, so I don't want to just like have fake jokes, but I hope that I'm enough humorous to them, to my American students.
I want to circle back. You talked about coming to the United States and then being in the MFA program and already knowing that you wanted to be an illustrator, a book illustrator. So that desire developed then when you were in Iran. Were there specific books or works that made you want to become a book illustrator, or what actually fueled that desire?
I've been always in love with the storytelling. Like I remember the times every weekend we got together with my auntie, cousins, and everybody in my grandma's house. And then, there were hardly TV shows in Iran for kids, not like today, Disney channels, Amazon Primes. No, it's just like 45 minutes cartoon, that's it, from TV. And then the rest of the time you have to be creative. So I remember my grandma, she asked us all together, sitting around of her, and she told us, stories. I remember summer nights, like we used to sleep on the roof of her house and looking at the sky. She was telling us a story, and we went to the bed. But her stories were coming from her mom's, like her mom's carried those stories from her grandma. So those are pretty, interesting stories. I know there's some of them, they're spooky, scary, hard to retell, but that's the root of me interested, in a storytelling. And then when I discovered as a child, like being in a war, not having enough access to a lot of books, but the books that I had, my mom used to buy a lot of picture books for me. So those were my world, actually, like. And then when I found, they shaped my identity. They shaped who I am today. When I found that's so cool, this is a job. That's who I can be. So that's when I decided.
Yeah, do what you love and call it work.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And it took me years of years. When the students are getting frustrated finding job or getting to the market or like the field they want, I always telling them, don't worry, just like go work for Starbucks, go work for like other places. Like don't think that you're wasting your time. You are getting there. Just be passionate enough.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you actually anticipated one of my questions about role models. You talked about your aunties and your grandmother and your mother, just sort of laying the basis for this storytelling. Were there art professionals that were maybe artist mothers that were also role models for you in your career path?
My role models, that's pretty important. I always love, I always tell other artists also, like create a role model for yourself, because that helps you to not get frustrated or get disappointed in the way on a way that you're getting to the road who you want to be. But my role models are often the people that embody like creativity and then deep sense of purpose. I'm inspired by Farah Pahlavi. She was a queen of Iran 45 years ago. But at the same time, I'm seeing her as a creative person who, as a woman in that era, that she changed the whole future of art in Iran. She started the first publishing house in Iran, printing picture books for kids. She opened the Contemporary Art Museum in Iran. She studied architecture in France. So to me, she's not just the queen of Iran. She was not just like the doll, the beautiful doll in the castle. She was the one that changed a lot of good things in Iran. So that's my role model, and of course, my mom also has a significant role model in my life.
That's great, though. A historical figure who advocated for the arts and for women too.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
really wonderful. So, in your career, has there ever been a time where motherhood was a challenge to your art practice, or maybe how the world's expectations for motherhood posed a challenge?
The world expectation, let's just like, I don't care about that part. Like I try to just ignore it. But for me, the mother inner guilt, I found that in me is big. So a lot of times that when I'm in the studio, and Daria is on tablet playing game, I feel so guilty. I think that I could do better. I could do better job. But at the same time, thinking that okay, I'm creating this based on the love I have for my art, and if I will be a happy, successful woman, I will be a happy mom for her too.
So, what's next? Are you working on any specific projects or?
I can't wait for me to be just the illustrator. I'm so excited that like a publisher, they liked my manuscript, they bought my story, and then now we are working on that book, me being author and illustrator. I'm pretty excited for that. It's going to be published by Bloomsbury.
Oh, that's a wonderful. Congratulations. So, what's the heart of the story? What's the narrative?
That thank you for asking that. It's just like about a child and having a routine life, a day in the life, like just being a child. That's also coming from the voice of the child.
Yeah, the magic of every day when you're a
Yes,
child.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I can say it's pretty much inspired by Daria, me experiencing being a mom, and just like watching her and bringing me back to the memories of my childhood. Like a lot of times we forget as adults, grown up, we forget our childhood memories. So Daria was a really great source of inspiration for me. That's whenever that she's doing something, I said, yeah, I remember I did that too. Like whenever that she find a dandelion, flower, and she just picked them and poof them, like blow them. So, and I remember I did the same, but my grandma told me that you can make a wish, when you do that. So I said, oh, I should tell Daria this too. So this could be a part of my story. Just these routine, very, very normal day, things we do as a child. It's the subject of my book.
That's wonderful. Wow, we get a sneak peek about your upcoming work. So I'm so excited to have you participating in the Mother and exhibition and project. Can you tell us what it means for you to be part of this project?
Thank you so much, Eleanor, for inviting me, for being part of this. I participated in Mother Project exhibition because it resonated with my life and my beliefs. I always want to be part of a great, original, and important experience. Like anything that is original experience for me, I want to jump into it. Like, and also it dives into the many sides of the motherhood, showing how it connects with the woman identity and their career. I love that. I have never been, I have never been part of such a project. So I'm so honored. I'm so happy. And also I'm so excited to meet other moms who are part of this exhibition.
Yeah, that's such an important part of the project is just creating community between other moms and particularly between artist mothers and art educators and who are also mothers. So yeah, it's so wonderful to connect with you and to have you participate in the project. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you for letting me not to feel alone as a guilty mom.
Well, you shouldn't feel guilty because from what I hear, it sounds like you're making a wonderful connection with Daria and with your students. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
This podcast was produced by Clio Scroll Productions, with Kara Heitz as the director and Emily Milner as the audio engineer. Music is by Brooke Tooley and the Moon Travelers. The Mother and project team includes Eleanor Lim Midyet, project manager and co-curator, Courtney Wasson, co-curator, Laura Berman, senior consultant, Stephanie Leedy, Leedy-Voulkos Art Center owner and mother of the Crossroads, Erin Woodworth, Leedy-Voulkos gallery manager, and Debbie Barrett-Jones, Leedy-Voulkos gallery assistant. An extra thank you to the Kansas City Artists Coalition, Distribution by Air Company, and Hotel Indigo for their support. Don't forget to listen to the other episodes of the Mother and podcast, and also remember to check out the Mother and exhibition, which runs from September 5th to November 21st, 2025 at the Leedy-Voulkos Art Center in Kansas City, Missouri. More information can be found on their website at www.leedy-voulkos.com. That's www.leedy-voulkos.com. Thanks for listening.